Hey, so there was a major CloudFlare outage not so long ago, and I wanted to briefly discuss the results. Lots of their services, mostly various APIs, were not available for 3 to 5 days. And after they fixed everything, they released so-called post-mortem, which is focused on analyzing the root causes of this problem. And I read this letter. It is really interesting, and in a few words, it's actually a human factor. As usual, this is a human factor. So what actually happened? They have 3 data centers, and they tested an unavailability of first one. So they disabled it, everything went well, they enabled it back. Then they disabled second one, tested, everything went back, they enabled it, everything went well, they enabled it. And then they stopped, they didn't test data center number 3. And by some unlucky factor, it was the one which got down, which experienced the problem. And only when they lost the power, they realized that they had some really critical services deployed in this and only this data center. And this leads to lots of problems. This leads to lots of outages and services being not available. So regarding AWS and regarding infrastructures we usually create for our clients, or regarding infrastructure you might have, I would do, to avoid such a problem, I would check few things. First one, usually all infrastructure is deployed in one single region. It might be Frankfurt or Ireland or North Virginia. So there is really small possibility, it's really low possibility, but the entire region might become unavailable. I have never faced it. I saw that one of data centers become unavailable, probably even 2, but all of them I have never faced it. But it doesn't mean that it will never happen. So if it happens, everything which is deployed in this region will become unavailable. And the only solution is to duplicate your entire infrastructure, or maybe the most critical parts of it, which you can't afford to lose, in the secondary region, and keep them updated, keep them monitored. And in case of failure, of an entire region, you will have a possibility to either manually, either automatic, either semi-automatic, Amazon supports all of this, to switch your users to the secondary region. So this is the first thing to check, to think about. And the second one, when we build an infrastructure, we make it highly available, we make it distributed, we make it fault tolerant, and we are expecting that it will behave as it should behave. It will auto-heal some parts, it will replace some failed Docker or something, and in most cases, it works this way. It works exactly in the way you expect it to work. But what if it doesn't? What if it won't work this way? What if something bad happens? And that's why AWS has created so-called fault injection simulator. This is a service which allows you, in a controlled way, to introduce some problems into your infrastructure. It may simulate disk failure, it may simulate network failure, etc., etc., etc. But the key point here is that you can stop it at any moment. As soon as you realize that it is not going into the right direction, then you can stop it. Because you definitely should do it on production. There is no point of testing it on developmental stage, only production. So this is a bit of a dangerous, and that's why you need a turn-off switch. And you have it. You can immediately stop the experiment when you realize that it is actually influencing your production. But if you realize it, you have enough time, after you stop it, you have enough time to fix it, to implement the fix, and to do retest. And this is much better than you have just real outage and you realize that you have problems during this outage and you have to implement some fix really quickly without totally understanding what is happening. So second thing is fault injection simulator. And if your business is earning you a lot of money, I would recommend doing both. Launching secondary region in some other geographic location and running this fault injection simulator from time to time, because this is not actually one-time task. You should run it a few times a year. It should be kind of a routine. After any major change, you should rerun it because your infrastructure changed and who knows what it lead to. And the third thing, everything should be documented, because when bad things happen, you usually don't have enough time. It might happen during the night, so you might not, or your DevOps team might not have really clear mind. They were sleeping 5 minutes ago, so they need really simple document, step-by-step document on what they should do to switch traffic to secondary location. So a kind of a disaster recovery document, which is also should be tested at least once a year, better 2 times a year. So that's it. I hope all those advices be useful for you. Have a good day. Bye.